As the sun sets, the screeches and clicks of thousands of arachnids could be heard echoing through the canyons. It was the sound of death approaching. Anthony stared death right in its gaping mouth. The captured giant arachnid almost seemed aware of the stare down. Anthony wondered if it knew it could possibly have caused the downfall of the humans at this outpost. Anthony's gaze was lifted as fellow troopers headed up the stairs and bumped into him. He snapped back to reality. On 3 different sides, the bugs were about to break through. On the left flank, they managed to tear down part of the wall and swarm the troopers stationed there. The death screams of the humans were muffled by ear-deafening sounds of the arachnid. On the right flank, some of the bugs managed to break through a small alcove, routing part of the squad further into the outpost. But at least the soldiers that were up on the ridge had free rein to shoot down, and rain death upon the disgusting creatures. Even so, it would not take long for this side to fall as well. And then, there were the tunnels. To some, a death trap, but to others, a possible means to get out. Some of the bugs had broken through in tunnel sector E57. The force there got overrun. Their corpses and blood painted the walls around them crimson. At least not many bugs could go through the tunnel at the same time. It would be risky, but it might be the soldiers' only chance to escape. Anthony yearned for an earlier time, for the days when he hadn't seen any of this violence yet. When he and all of his friends were still together. When he got to know everyone at training facility Ironside after seeing an ad on the Federal Network. This Starship Troopers video was made possible by the creators Mighty Mapper 123 and Mythic Gaming Productions. Young people from all over the globe are subscribing to Mighty Mapper and Mythic Gaming. She is subscribed. He is subscribed. This guy is subscribed too. And even that kid is subscribed. They're all doing their part. Are you? Subscribe to these channels and have them personally send you bullets for the Marita Assault Rifle. Ask them for details. Would you like to know more? Everyone's doing their part. Whether it is stomping out the bugs in your direct neighborhood, or practicing your future shooting skills in Arachnid Terror 5 for Home Console 64. Featuring the newest cutting-edge graphics and sound quality, and photorealistic look and feel of a great arsenal of weapons. Doctors say this game can be healthy for young kids to play in order to maximize their eye-hand coordination for when they join the Corps. Arachnid Terror 5 is fun for the whole family. Compete with your friends to get the highest score, or, if you really want to impress them, buy the Grenade DLC to pulverize those bugs once and for all. Grenade DLC sold separately for $15.99, of which 76% will go towards the Federation Military Fund. Would you like to know more? Do you think you have what it takes to be a first-class private like Ace Levy, or even make it to the top like Lieutenant Johnny Rico? Then prove it by requesting to be sent to the training facility Ironside during your recruitment interview. Only the best of the best will leave this facility and call themselves Starship Troopers. Ironside contains only top quality facilities to make sure your stay is purely dedicated to min-maxing your combat skills in the field and make bloodthirsty soldiers out of you. You will enter as boys, but leave as men. Soldiers on leave can win a chance for a trip to Zegama Beach. Would you like to know more? After finishing high school, Anthony decided to join the military to do his part like so many others. He felt a bit like a fish out of water in the beginning, so he trusted his gut and requested to be sent to Camp Ironside after seeing the ad. He was told it was going to be harsh training, but he thought he could handle it. The recruitment officer wasn't lying. The moment the new recruits stepped inside the camp, they got a stir speech upon them from one of the officers. The officer claimed they were his property, but that all he saw was a pile of garbage. He noted that he had needed better soldiers out of piles of shit than this lot. That remark made one of the soldiers chuckle. The officer noticed immediately and demanded the recruit to yell out his name. The recruit went by the name of Shields, and the officer asked what was so funny. Before Shields could even answer, the officer yelled in his face and ordered him to run around the facility until given the order to stop. One of the officer's subordinates kept pace in pursuit. The officer continued and mentioned everyone's name and the barracks they were assigned to. Anthony was assigned to Barracks B-29. They would have a bit of free time to know the crew and then had to prepare for combat training. Once Anthony and the others entered the barracks, They were greeted by the recruits who arrived a few weeks earlier. It's here where Anthony met Ricardo for the first time. Ricardo was first giving the new recruits a bit of a rough time, busting their balls and asking if they were prepared for the harsh training ahead. Once the recruits were getting ready for combat training, Ricardo told Anthony a bit about the training instructor. Though training would be tough at all places, you had these particular sergeants once in a while that were a bit harsher. Ricardo had heard rumors of drill instructors breaking recruits' limbs or even wounding them with a knife to make an example, but he never actually believed it until he saw this happen with Sergeant Clancy Brown. Brown was known to be a tough son of a bitch, but during knife throwing, one of the trainees asked why they were still aiming at human-shaped targets. After all, the war was against the arachnids, not against fellow humans. Brown said that indeed the current war is being fought against a bug, but what comes after? Peace? Democracy? He had the trainee stand near the targets and then buried the knife in his shoulder. Wrong, yelled Brown as the trainee fell down. It is war once again that will be upon us against other people, for that is his nature, and that is how victory will be achieved. So one should never let his guard down against fellow humans. Anthony could not believe it. Was the trainee alright? Of course not, Rico chuckled. He lived, if that's what he meant. The two left and headed for the training field. All the while, Shields was still running around the facility, leaving behind a trail of sweat. Shields kept running until his body collapsed. He could take no more step. The subordinate officer let him rest for a while until joining the other recruits. At the training facility, Anthony found out that Ricardo wasn't kidding. Brown made quite a mean impression on himself. Like the officer at the gate, he said he had never seen such incapable human beings. It would not even be worth scraping bug guts after the war would be over. Brown asked if anyone thought they had what it takes to take him on. A trainee by the name of Cypher volunteered. He and his older brother always used to wrestle each other, and Cypher would always come out on top. But he was not prepared for Brown's fist, as he soon got punched and kicked, blood spewing from his nose and mouth. Brown seemed not impressed and yelled for a medic. No one else volunteered, and thus, the trainees started their rigorous training over the next couple of weeks. Everyone is doing their part. Over the past months, the sale charts have shown that citizens from all over the globe have purchased video games like Earth Defense Force. Games like these and many others give our children in the community a heartful message that the only good bug is a dead bug. Be a responsible parent and get your child this game so it can learn about the atrocities of insects. Would you like to know more? Know your foe! Though they might look hideous, it is important to inspect the enemy to find out new ways to kill the bug. The most common one is the arachnid warrior. Lethal, vicious, and great in number. They are able to rip an adult cow to shreds in 9 seconds. Remember, when engaging an arachnid warrior, aim for the nerve stem to put it down for good. Taking out one of its limbs still makes it 86% combat effective. Would you like to know more? An internet troll was arrested and tried this morning. He had wrote unsavory words about games like Arachnid Warfare Simulation 2 that are so important in today's society's education. Sentence: death. Execution will be live at 8, right after the season finale of Band of Troopers. All net, all channels. Would you like to know more? As the months went by, Anthony grew as a soldier. From combat training to tactical training and endurance, he felt himself become stronger with each passing day. He worked up a brotherhood with fellow recruits like Shields, Cypher, Rutger, and of course Ricardo. During skirmish training, where they simulated a capture the flag scenario, Anthony could finally show everything he had learned. While his team seemed pinned down from enemy fire of the red team, he and 2 others flanked to catch them off guard and capture the flag for their own. It was a win for the blue team, and this achievement earned Anthony the role of squad leader. Not too long after, they got word that they would be sent out to fight the bugs in the next big operation. The troopers would be sent down to a small planet similar to that of Clan Dathu. This planet would be labeled Side B, and the invasion force of the Federation would be swift and hard. After having successfully established a landing zone, squads and groups would spread out to rid themselves of bug holes. This was it. This was what Antony and the others had trained so long for. They were finally getting a piece of the action. As the ships passed over the planet of Side B, Antony's company was one of the first to be sent down there. Clancy Brown joined them as well. As the dropship descended, all he could do was smile. "It's a good day to die," he said.